Update. Would I be the a-hole if I dumped my girlfriend over something she did when she was drunk that she doesn't remember? So I, 20 male, have been with my girlfriend, 21 female, for about 5 months now. Everything was going well, and we were both happy, or so I thought. We were out drinking together when a guy, 24 male I grew up with, turned up. For reference, I've known him probably 15 years. We used to chill when I was 8 and he was 12. He went to school with my older sister, and I definitely looked up to him a lot. He gave me my first ever joint back in the day, and even 2 years ago, he appeared out of nowhere and stopped me getting jumped. Legit scared off 4 or 5 guys by himself who had thrown me to the ground and were kicking me. So overall, he's definitely a good dude and has always been good to me. Well, I introduced him to my girlfriend, and it turns out she already knew him. Her parents own a tattoo and piercing shop and went there to get tattoos when he was 14. The two of them start talking and it seems all chill. I go off with my friend and let them catch up a bit. I leave the bar and head to the shop to get some cigarettes with one of my friends, maybe a 5-minute walk away. I'm gone for maybe 15 minutes. When I come back, my girlfriend is quite a lot more drunk and in a bad mood with me. I approach the two of them and she tells me to go away because she's talking to him about his family. He says, "Don't be mean to him, he's a good guy." Then turns to me and says to come sit with them. My girlfriend rolls her eyes and basically scolds me for interrupting. My friend again stands up for me and says it's not a big deal, that they were just talking about what his family had been up to lately, and as I knew his family, it wasn't a problem if I wanted to stay and join a convo. Just then, the bartender comes over and it turns around to start ordering. While I was talking to the bartender, I ask my girlfriend what's up, and she just says she doesn't want to talk to me. I ask what her problem is, and she basically tells me to just go away. I start getting annoyed, so I turn around and leave to the smoking area. I have a cigarette, and from here I can see her laughing and joking with my friend, so she's not in a bad mood overall, just with me. After about 3 minutes, they join me outside and he's brought me a drink. This is where the issues really start. While we were sitting down and chilling, my girlfriend starts going on about how big my friend's arms are. And yeah, they are huge. He's a personal trainer, but I don't feel like that exactly needs to be discussed. My friend sort of dismisses it and says, "Nah, I'm obese right now. He definitely is still in great shape, he's just bulking." But then my girlfriend goes on to say how she prefers a little belly on guys, and that abs make her feel sick. This ticked me off, because I'm a fairly skinny guy and I have abs. My friend says he hates it when he doesn't have abs, and my girlfriend is like, "No, you definitely look great anyway." And my friend just laughs and says thanks. A little later on, we are at the bar again, and my girlfriend grabs his arm, says, "Jesus Christ," and starts squeezing it. We both sort of look at her as if to say WTF, and she says, "Sorry, I'm just drunk. I couldn't help myself." About 10 minutes after that, she keeps making jokes and comments to the two of us about threesomes, swapping partners, a friend has a girlfriend, and that sort of stuff. At first, we laughed it off, but it gets to the point where my friend sort of has had enough and puts his foot down and says it's not happening. My girlfriend laughs and says she was just joking. My final straw is 20 minutes after this, she randomly just bites and then licks his arm. She's pretty wasted at this point, and we're both like, WTF is even happening? She just starts laughing hysterically, and again says I'm sorry I couldn't help myself. My friend excuses himself to the toilet, and I ask my girlfriend what her problem is. She says she's just having fun, and I'm like, "No, you're trying to bang my friend." This sends my girlfriend livid, and she starts accusing me of trying to sleep with her friend who introduced us and who I grew up with and is like a sister to me, and then tells me she doesn't want to talk to me and storms off. I go outside, and she sat with my friend and the people who he had come with, and I head over and she loudly says, "Oh, just go away." My friend and his friends all say I'm fine and to sit down, and my girlfriend just rolls her eyes and goes off to the toilet. Shortly after, my friend pulls me to the side and I ask him what the heck is going on. He says he is just as confused as me and says that even though my girlfriend is his type, there's no way he would go there due to his loyalties to me and his own girlfriend. He then informs me that my girlfriend had invited him and all his friends back to hers for an after party when the bar shuts. He says he wanted to make sure I was going to be there and he didn't want to go if I wasn't, because it would be weird to hang out with my girlfriend without me. I said I'm absolutely going to be there. We all head back, and my girlfriend seems annoyed about me coming too, but everyone is refusing to go unless I'm there too. We get in and my girlfriend pulls me in the room and we start arguing again. After 5 minutes, my friend texts me and says him and his friends have been invited to a different party and I can go with them if I want. I decline because I just want to go to bed at this point. They all leave and my girlfriend blames me for ruining the night. We eventually go to sleep. The next day, she acts absolutely fine, and like nothing even happened. She claims to have no memory of the night before and refuses to bring it up, saying, "I get witchy when I'm drunk. You already know this." Which is true. She is a bit of a mean drunk, but this feels like more than that. I don't know how to confront her when she denies any memory of anything I've written here and admits she was probably acting horrible. So I sort of just want to end it, as I'm definitely not okay with it, and it is impossible to talk about or resolve. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Mate, she will cheat on you and blame the alcohol, and ask what you're upset about. Dump and block, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You can break up with anyone for any reason at any time. You are not required to stay in a relationship. If she did something when she was drunk, that's her fault, because she decided to drink alcohol and to get drunk. It's not an excuse. Yeah, I don't even think she's telling the truth about not remembering as well. The behavior is inappropriate, even if she was drunk, especially considering the fact that she did this in front of you. This seems like the relationship equivalent of, "You're such a witch. Jeez, I'm just kidding," when the person actually means what they have said. Not the a-hole. I think she rediscovered her childhood crush, and you are now below him in her priority list. I think you're right. We have been out before, and attractive guys have hit on her and she has shut it down instantly, while being much more drunk. That is why this was such a shock to me. Also, considering the guy would happily stick his neck out for you against 4+ guys, and didn't just take your girlfriend's offer to come to her place, keep him as a friend. He might become your best bro someday. Now for the update. Thank you for all the replies. Sorry I haven't responded much, but I was working until late yesterday and by the time it finished, there was over 1,000 comments, so it was a little overwhelming. After work yesterday, I called my now ex-girlfriend and ended things. I never said why specifically, just that I couldn't see us working out as it seemed pointless as she didn't even remember the issue. A lot of crying and pleading, but when she realized I wasn't budging, she turned hostile, started calling me a pathetic loser, etc, etc. I just hung up because I didn't really want to deal with it after an 11-hour shift. She then went on to text me this. "Haha, you are freaking pathetic. You're too cowardly to even break up with your chest. You must think I'm stupid. I know the real reason is because of the other night. Sorry, not my fault your friend is hotter than you. Being around him and you at the same time made me realize how much I settled and how much more is out there. Have a nice life, honey." Followed by, "If I hit up with your friend tonight, mind your business." And then she sent us screenshots of a meme saying, "When you realize you picked the ugliest one in the friend group." So yeah, definitely some BS. Definitely knew exactly what she was doing, and definitely dodged a bullet. I sent those screenshots to my friend, and he called me. He laughed hysterically and said, "Damn bro, you really know how to pick 'em." But she's delusional if she thinks I'd leave my girlfriend over someone who acts like that. You can be pretty as you want, but if you act like dog poop, you are dog poop, and you can't polish dog poop. We had a good laugh at her expense, and he told me to call him if I need anything. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you to everyone who replied. Commented on original post, "Thanks for the update. As much this hurts and sucks, at least you dodged a huge bullet and didn't lose half of your stuff in the process. You'll find better than the trash. Your buddy's a solid good dude. Props to him." After what she did, I knew I had to end it, whether it was a mistake or whatever or not. But her trying to be hurtful actually made it hurt a lot less. Like if that's who she is, then it isn't exactly a loss. So it stopped feeling like one pretty instantly, LMAO. Yeah, true enough. Once a person shows who they truly are, it does make it a bit easier, and it hurts less. Even if it was just the drunk stuff, that's still who she's actively going to be at certain times, unless she renounces consuming alcohol. Intoxication isn't an excuse for crime. It's not an excuse for being a bad partner either. Wow, she's awful. Glad you got to see her true colors before you invested more time into the relationship. You can really tick her off by totally not responding to anything else she says, or at least very minimally. Like, "Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Best of luck to you." Yeah, I didn't even respond, LMAO. Can you update when she inevitably tries to make a move on your friend and he shuts her down? She is probably strutting around like a pigeon who poops on a chessboard thinking she won. Already happened, not much to say. She texted him saying, "Hey, it was good seeing you the other night. Would love to catch up some more X." And he just ignored her and sent me the screenshot, LMAO. How freaking tragic. Next story. Am I the a-hole for firing back at a girl with "I ask you out 3 times"? I, 25 male, grew up in a relatively small village along with Amy, 25 female. We were in the same class since kindergarten right up until graduating from high school, and then we went to the same city for college. Me and Amy used to be relatively close to each other, and we confided our grievances with the world. We got each other, we gave each other advice, etc., etc. Obviously, I had feelings for her, which led me to ask her out when we were 14. I got shut down because I went about it in a really stupid way. Our friendship took a slight hit, but recovered pretty fast and it was back to Tuesday. Later on, when we were 18 and in the last year of high school, we obviously matured, and we found ourselves going into micro-dates to speak of, where we accompanied each other to chores around the city we attended high school in. My feelings for her flared up again, and I managed to orchestrate a pretty romantic date for us, where at the end I asked if we could dip into something more serious. She replied with her having to study for national exams and prepare for college. I accepted this and move on, keeping up the friendship. Skip a year, and we are in college in another city that is about 2 hours away with bus. Naturally, we frequently took the same bus when going between home village and college city, so in that time, we had a lot of time to talk. I remember I talked vividly with her expressing frustration with being single. At the end of that bus trip, I asked if she wanted to grab a coffee sometime, which she refused, citing college obligations. I accepted this and kept up the friendship, like nothing happened. Fast forward 5 years. We finished college 2 years ago. I found a job in College City, she moved back home. Since we didn't have the same frequency of meeting up, we fell off. I wouldn't have said I didn't consider her a friend, but we were not talking on a daily or, to be honest, monthly. I fell in love with a colleague of mine 6 months ago, and while I know we are still in the honeymoon phase, she makes my gray days bright and colorful. Neither of us use social media that much, so our relationship was pretty much only known by my close-knit friends and family, purely because we didn't care to make it everyone's business. Then, 2 days ago, my girlfriend asked if she could post a couple's pic on her Facebook, and of course I saw nothing wrong with it, and I agreed. That night, Amy messaged me with something that would translate to, "I guess you really did move on from me." I don't know if the tone is lost in translation, but it felt like it was supposed to be an insult. So I fired back with, "I asked you out 3 times. A day later, her BFF messaged me to tell me that I'm a disgusting pig that is only interested in hooking up with women. My girlfriend says that I'm nothing like that, but we could commit murder and still find the mental gymnastics to back each other up. So I would like an outside opinion. So am I the a-hole for telling a girl that I asked you out 3 times? Now for the comments. No, not the a-hole. She wanted to keep you on the back burner, and she's mad she doesn't have you there anymore. She's really unhinged at this point. It's been 5 years since he last asked her out, and she said no, and at this point they're not even in regular contact. How does she even think she gets to keep him as a backup after friend-zoning him 3 times? I don't get these type of people. Maybe it was a comfort story she'd share with her BFF. Remember that guy who asked me out 3 times? Bet is still pining for me. Not the a-hole. You asked, she declined. Seems she was thinking of you as plan B, if nothing better would appear. Got mad that you are now happy. As mentioned, not the a-hole, but we just ignore her and just don't respond if she tries to get in contact again. It's essential to prioritize your own happiness and well-being. If someone didn't appreciate your value or treated you as a backup plan, it's entirely reasonable to move forward positively and focus on the people and experiences that makes you happy. Your feelings are valid. Last story. Would I be the a-hole for calling off my engagement after my fiance let her brother borrow and crash my car while I was out of town? So last week, while I was on a business trip, my fiance let her brother borrow my car since he needed one for whatever reason and doesn't own one, and she was using hers to go to work. So when I came back home, I noticed the entire front bumper dented and basically destroyed. So when I went to ask her what happened, she told me that she let her brother borrow it and he drove it into a pillar by accident. Some context, my car was a gift from my dad for my graduation and has tons of sentimental value to me. So I told her I'd expect her brother to foot the bill of around $20K to get the bodywork replaced after I got an estimate from the dealership. She said she couldn't do that since her brother hadn't held a job since COVID hit and wouldn't be able to afford it. This made me even more mad than I already was. So I left the apartment and got myself a hotel room and sent her brother a message saying I'd expect him to pay for the repairs. Otherwise, I'd get lawyers involved. I'm currently considering calling off the engagement or postponing the wedding because I don't think I can trust my fiancé around anymore. After she basically loaned something worth $150K to her wildly irresponsible brother without telling me. This is after she already knows how much that car means to me, not just financially but sentimentally as well. and then proceeded to try and defend her brother because I can't afford to get it repaired while he can't. End the engagement and make sure to sue him for the repairs. Also, since he didn't have permission, I'd file a police report. Even though she gave him permission, it's not her car to do that too. I agree with this. I don't think a lot of people realize insurance follows the car and not the person driving in a lot of places. If an insurance claim is filed to fix the damage, that goes on his insurance history, not the brother's, and he'll be stuck with increased rates and claim history. Also, if the brother wasn't listed as a driver, they may not even cover it. My insurance won't cover it because he doesn't have a valid driver's license, so I had to have to file a police complaint over property damage to get them to pay for it. She'll let the brother borrow a car knowing he doesn't even have a license? Yeah, this woman is disrespectful and has no concern for your stuff. I like the idea of postponing the wedding until it's paid for by the brother or her family and then canceling it altogether. That's the only way you might possibly get any money for repairs out of that situation. Forget postponing the wedding. I would 100% cancel. OP's fiance had no business loaning out OP's car, especially not to someone without a license. She didn't care, and from her responses to OP's very natural anger and frustration, she still doesn't. Not only is she saying she won't ask her brother to pay for the damage, she hasn't offered to cover it for him, and the brother wouldn't have been driving if she hadn't have given him the keys. Her actions are a major breach of trust, and her response shows zero personal accountability. That is not the stuff successful marriages are built on.